It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News. Coming to you, unfortunately, still from Tampa, Florida. Several things have happened this morning that I'm still in Tampa. One, it was just a total disorganized disembarkation. They did not consider me handicapped because I had the scooter from Scoot Around that I picked up at the curb that made things easy for embarkation. So I went at 7:30 this morning to the handicap station where, the folks that need wheelchair assistance off the ship all meet to get hooked up with the guys that push the wheelchairs and so forth. And they said, no, sorry, you can't stay with these guys because you don't need assistance. So I said, what does that mean? Well, you have to go upstairs to 9. This was on 7. You have to go upstairs to 9 and wait up there until you're called by the luggage tags after all the people that are getting off the ship with their own luggage go. I said, so wait a minute, you're talking to a handicapped person here. You're making me go upstairs, fight the elevators with all these people trying to get to the right floors to disembark and stuff. You're going to make me fight to get up there to only turn around and come back down here? Yep, that's the way it is. Well, by the time I got down, and then, of course, I'm in throngs of people, both waiting for my time to be called to go back down to 7 to get off the ship, and waiting for to get to the Uber lot. By then, people are coming in for the next cruise. Still, people were going out, and it was just a total cluster, you know what. So finally, my Uber driver got there. I got to the hotel in the pouring down rain. I got into the car. It's 20 minutes to 11. And I said, well, hell, there's no sense in me driving anywhere 20 minutes and trying to stop and find something short term. I'll just sit here and where I had the car parked and do the show in Tampa. So I have not driven a single mile yet. So who knows how far I'll get tonight. Certainly won't be as far as normal. And then the rain, and then I've had some lightning while I've been sitting here too. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, this is enough complaining. Travel and cruise industry news for Friday, November the 11th, 2022. We're going to talk this morning about the final update for Nicole. Thank goodness. Rotterdam rescue in treacherous waters. Viking takes delivery of the newest ocean ship. And a lot more here at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Today, folks, is Veterans Day. So today we honor anyone that served. My father was a totally and permanently disabled veteran from World War II. He had total and permanent loss of 3 limbs. So today is a special day for me as I honor my dad. And of course, any of you out there that have served, that helped in any way to give us the freedom that we love in this country, even though it seems questionable now if some people, take those freedoms to heart anymore. But anyway, for those of you that have served, we thank you for your service and we honor you today. It's also National Sundae Day. So go out and have an ice cream sundae somewhere. Even better, take a veteran to get an ice cream sundae. How's that? All right, National Sundae Day and Veterans Day. If you're listening via the podcast, and by the way, The podcasts are now all up from all the disaster at sea, but they're not up on my blog yet. So hopefully when I get into a hotel tonight, I'll get that all caught up. But at least all the podcasts are on the podcast networks. You can always, at least normally, access it via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from, all the big guys, Podchaser, Pandora, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, any of them. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the fat travel guy. And anytime you want to hop over to the video feed when you're listening to the podcast, there's always a description, a link in the description of the podcast to take you to the video feed in case I'm using pictures or clips or whatever on the show that day that you'd like to see. All right. I'll be back with today's news. There's not a whole lot of it, but a little news today, after word from one of our network sponsors. All right, the first story today is still dealing with the remnants of Nicole, and that's only because this should be the absolute last update for Nicole, I hope. Nicole bringing heavy rains to portions of the southeastern United States. The last numbers I saw on, she was located about 70 miles southwest of Macon, Georgia. Maximum sustained winds were at 35, moving north-northwest at 16. Central pressure is rising up to 997. An acceleration toward the north and northeast is expected today on the forecast track to the center of Nicole. It will move across central and northern Georgia and over western Carolinas later today and this evening. Nicole is expected to become a post-tropical cyclone later today or tonight, then dissipate tonight or early Saturday as it merges with a frontal system over the eastern United States. So hopefully that's it for Nicole. Sort of an interesting story. We get these every now and then. We don't cover all of them, but this one I thought was worth giving you the facts on. The brand new Rotterdam, which just christened recently, and our buddy Bubba Schumart and his lovely wife have been on the Rotterdam forever, it seems. They were there for the christening. They were there for the 150th anniversary voyage across country. They're still on it now for the Southern Caribbean cruise. She made her first refugee rescue in tumultuous water stirred up by then Hurricane Nicole on a day when the ship wasn't planned to be at sea. According to news reports, guests aboard the Rotterdam spotted a crowded makeshift raft bobbing in the rough swells approximately 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Crew members were alerted and the Coast Guard was contacted for rescue assistance. Due to the rough seas, however, immediate action was necessary to safeguard those on the raft, which appeared to be cobbled together with styrofoam, tarps, and thin wood planks. A line was shot out to the raft, and one of the refugees had to swim about 15 yards to reach it. While the incident was harrowing due to the rough weather and the unwieldy raft, all 14 refugees, 13 men and 1 woman, were brought safely aboard the cruise ship while the raft was left adrift. The refugees were provided with food, water, and medical attention. They remained on board Rotterdam until the ship returned to Port Everglades on Friday morning and were then turned over to the proper authorities. This is the first rescue for a relatively new cruise ship, which just arrived in North America waters 2 weeks ago on its historic anniversary crossing. Rotterdam wasn't originally scheduled to be anywhere near where the rescue was made on Wednesday. She is sailing a 10-night Southern Caribbean itinerary, but the cruise was extended one day when Port Everglades closed due to the storm. This required the ship to remain offshore in safer waters, well out of the storm's reach, which conveniently and miraculously put the vessel within reach of the refugees who desperately needed assistance. Had there been no storm, Rotterdam would have been in a much different position on Wednesday evening, beginning its next sailing, and the refugees would likely have perished. So, congratulations to the guys on the Rotterdam for pulling off a really, tough rescue at sea in the middle of, whether it was a hurricane or tropical storm then. Now, water was still pretty rough, I'll tell you that, even on the safe locations. I do have one interesting question from a legal standpoint, and I didn't have time this morning to thoroughly research it to try to come up with the answer beforehand. We all know that a refugee from Cuba to stay in the United States has to step foot on U.S. soil. If they're picked up out in the water and turned over to the authorities, they're taken back to Cuba. These folks stayed on board the Rotterdam until it got to Fort Lauderdale. So even if the Coast Guard took over and picked them up, they would have gotten off the Rotterdam onto the pier to get back on a Coast Guard ship. They then are on U.S. soil. Can they then stay? I don't know the answer to that one. I mean, I think it's sad that these guys are risking their lives to come to America, and then they get sent back to Cuba to the same crap they've been in. Oh, well. All right. Vikings, and folks, I've never sailed on Viking, and that's definitely has been promoted up to the top of my bucket list of one of the things I want to do this year. Viking has officially taken delivery of its newest cruise ship, the 930 passenger Viking Neptune. The Fincantieri shipyard in Ancona, Italy, signed over the cruise ship during a ceremony at the yard. She is the 12th new ship for Viking just this year, including 2 ocean-going ships, 8 river cruise ships, and 2 expedition cruise ships. Viking Neptune will sail her inaugural cruise on November the 17th in the Mediterranean. Cruise ship will sail in the Med through December 8th. Viking Neptune will then sail transatlantic to Fort Lauderdale from Barcelona. From Port Everglades, she will sail a world cruise, a journey from Fort Lauderdale to London that spans 138 days, 28 countries, and 57 ports, with overnight stays in 11 cities. Man, I want to do one of those someday. So, congratulations to Viking. That's pretty cool for a secondary line to have that many new ships in 1 year. All right, let's see who's over in the chat room this morning. I'm sure Sonny will be complaining that the show is short. There's not a whole lot of news, and I want to get on the road. Hot Air says, thank God it's Friday. There's Cindy. Cindy got off the boat early this morning because they take their luggage off. She didn't have to get in that madhouse. Hello from just north of Tampa, home from the paradise. And folks, I'm there. I make absolute no bones about it. I had so much fun with Cindy and her and Nick and their friends, John and Jean. It was just a terrific cruise, folks. Most enjoyable. I love Cindy to death. We had a great visit with Elizabeth and Cozumel. That was just a highlight to the cruise for me. But yeah, it was fun. Hey, folks, I hope someday just to sail with all of you guys. I enjoyed immensely sailing with Hot Air Tom and Cindy back in August. And then, of course, I did my second cruise with Sue and Barry in September, and Cindy on this one, and got to meet some of the other family. You know, I got to have breakfast with Bethany down here in Tampa. Got to see Bonnie and had lunch with her. I mean, it's so good to actually press flesh, you want to call it that, with you guys that are on here all the time. So that's just terrific. Mike's with us. Hi, Mike. Cindy said that is ridiculous. The elevators were crazy, y'all. It was nuts. We waited in the Normandy Lounge on deck 8 as Platinum and home by 9. I wasn't even off the ship by 9. Robert's with us. Hi, Robert. Hi, everyone. Finally got myself in here. Good to have you back. Sonny, that's quick getting home by 9 o'clock. Yeah. She's got more standing than I do, Sonny. And the thing is, on the other cruises I've been on, just because I'm on a scooter normally makes me considered handicapped. Well, yes, I don't need somebody to push me in a wheelchair because I got the scooter. So let me tag along with the guys in the wheelchair and get off so I don't have to fight with all the throngs of people. I would have been on the road by 7:30, even if I was 8. Let's say I was 8:30 getting off the ship and didn't have to wait so long for Uber because of the traffic. I would have been on the road by 9. I at least gotten an hour out of town, if not more. Oh well. Hi, Katie. Norwegian is giving a 10% military veteran discount on any cruise. Thank you, veterans. Absolutely. That's awesome. There's Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Glad you survived another storm up there in Jacksonville. Couldn't agree more. Your statement on veterans national service. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. I do appreciate that. Hey, Dennis. There's Dennis over in Greece. I hope the U.S. offers them sanctuary. Yeah, me too. Yeah, especially if that close. There's just something, and I know there's at least half the and I don't want this to be political, folks. I know part of the country doesn't want anything to do with immigrants anymore, so they want to shut down the borders, and the other part of the country, want to, honor immigrants the way we always have and the way this country was built. But it just seems that they go through that much, and then if they actually got on the pier, in the States, that to me is, they step foot in the country. We got to keep them. I hope they do. Those rafts that they try to sail through those waters on, sir, they are awful. Oh, there he is. Fincantieri. Oh, I'm going Fincantieri. Fincantieri. How's that? Fincantieri. I'm trying, Dennis. I actually practice this rolling R business. Dennis, what do you do if your language doesn't roll R's? I can't for the life of me do that. Yeah, it's been tough for me too, Sean. But I'm working on it. Eventually I'm going to get it right and sound like I'm intercontinental. That's not even a word. Anyway, Robert says, can't wait for the cruise around the Med, south of France, Chile. Yeah, me too. Hi, Joanne. Haven't seen you for a while. How you doing? Dennis says, practice, Tom. There are linguists that can help, probably instructional vids on here for tongue rolling exercises. Start with arriba. Arriba. I as in A as in they. Arriba. Arriba. Fincantieri. Fincantieri. Wow. Yeah, I've been slaughtering that one forever, Dennis. There's another one that's just like Meraviglia. And I still have trouble with getting that R going. Anyway. Joanne says, hi, off the beyond a week ago, brought COVID home. Ooh, that's too bad. Be careful out there. Yeah, again, folks, now I've done 3 cruises on this. I was very comfortable until today, getting off the ship when I actually was off the ship and in this damn long line queue, if some of you call it, to get to the elevator. And in this line were other people on scooters, one person in a wheelchair, and about 40 people that had so damn much either luggage or shopping bags that they couldn't take it down the escalator. So again, they made us stay all the way in this long line, which was another wait. But there was a little kid behind me that was just coughing and hacking and real croupy. And finally, I turned around and I said, excuse me, can you please keep that kid from coughing on me? They didn't say anything, but I was really getting fed up because I'm sorry the kid's coughing, but damn it, don't cough on me. So that was the first time I've really been uncomfortable. So, all right, guys, even though it's raining, I'm going to head for Virginia, at least drive for a while. I was hoping the rain would stop, but at least the storm has gone on for the most part. I have a feeling this is the tail end of it. But at any rate, all right, guys, this is Friday. So unless something major happens or I get real funky when I'm traveling here and do another show, I will see everybody back here on Monday. I will be back in studio. Will be nice. I do have a very interesting guest. I don't know if he'll be on Monday or Tuesday. As a matter of fact, Dennis, he's in Greece right now. So anyway, I have an interesting guest next week that you guys will enjoy, I hope. So, all right, guys, that's going to do me in for today. It stopped raining for the moment, so I'll at least start without it raining all over me. You guys have a fantastic weekend. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. Hopefully one day soon we'll all get together like Cindy and I did this week on the Carnival Paradise. Have a great weekend, y'all. See you Monday, if not before then. This is the old fat travel guy. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.